Hi guys, Josh here with another skinning guide video, or maybe skinning build video this time. So basically a lot has evolved since the beta and now into retail, given the different situations and obviously a lot more people are logged in. We can really define out and stamp out what the meta is and what the builds should be targeting. First things first, is the skinning a good alt, good profession alt? You know, basically is a good profession to achieve. Yes, you can get started at level 80. You can just do all the knowledge and whatnot, get about 50 or 60 points at level 80 and basically farm for, you know, whatever you want. You can do the Renowned Beast at 80, you can do Diffuser at 80, you can even do Trophy Taker at 80. Everything can be done at 80, you can use consumables and it's pretty easy, and you can still generate lots of money with it as well by just selling the mats on the AH. Consumables are very easy to get. The hardest one to really get is just the perception for the skinning knife, can be a bit expensive, and also the mining perception enchant as well to add an extra 30 or 15 perception to your tool. The new builds. So basically there's 3 new builds that I've really discovered. Majestic, Diffuser, and Trophy Taker. Essentially, Majestic is more passive build because you can only summon a Renowned Beast once a day. So basically for these builds in particular, you're just going to be playing for 30 minutes and then bam, you're off. Probably perfect for an ult. And a Diffuser and Trophy Taker builds are more active builds where you have to be actively skinning in particular. Trophy Taker is more open world skinning, and Diffusers are obviously abusing a certain hyperspawn that we'll talk about a bit later. Majestic builder is 40 in talent tracker to get all the lures, and then 26 into the Majestic Materials so you can get more perception, which allows you to get more Majestic hides, claws, and fins. They also have a talent in there where you can get double, which is very important. And also the final talent is pretty much middle. The other talent's pretty useless, to be honest. You might be better off just going into a different tree after you max this tree out, because the other tree talks about species specific and leather in general, which I'm going to say, if you're a Majestic build, you're not going for the leather, okay? You're going for the hides, the claws, and the fins. Best out is perception, okay? Just perception food, perception profile, perception everything, basically. Build's very passive, as I said. You can just buy the lures and then kill the Renowned Beast and then log off. You can set up like 5 accounts where you can just drop 1 lure for everyone, so you can have 1 in 40 points and the others in the other material stats, so you get more materials. You can even do it even if they're different builds as well. And as you can see there, basically, you can have different alts that just farm the 5 renowned lures. The cheaper option is obviously the 5 accounts for a gold perspective, but also from a real life perspective, it's probably not cheaper given that you're paying 5 WoW subscriptions, unless you make a WoW token in 30 days or 28 days or a month, and then it's generally probably not worth it, okay? I'm going to say, like, you know, if you do get, you know, yeah, I'm going to say overall, probably not worth it, actually, unless you get multiple hides and multiple claws. Generally takes me 15 to 20 minutes a day to kill all 5 renowned for the day. That's pretty much it. 15 to 20 minutes, log on to your next ult, essentially, as well. And I'd say if your AEs are very geared, it would be even quicker as well. Next up is Majestic build with, you know, where to find them. As you can see here, there we go. You got Calling Call, Silver Scale, Limifin, Umbra and Neverslife. Be aware if you want the lures to work or you want to get the 6th sense, you have to be unmounted. You cannot be mounted, otherwise the 6th sense doesn't pop up. Very important. And also lures, only use once per day. For the lures, you need 8 Lynxfish and Wormfish. For Eversong, 8 Gorguppy for the ZA lure. Harandar needs 8 Fungal Skin Pike and 10 Lumifin. Voidstorm lure needs 4 Omnis Octopus, and Grand Lore needs 4 times Null Voidfish. You can fish up the Voidstorm ones from the Vicious Void, or you can get a Vortex in the Voidstorm if you want to. To be fair, the Vicious Void is probably the best way to farm it. Harandar lure, you can farm it in Harandar, or you can go to ZA to farm the Lumifin, and, Zumafin, to farm the Fungal Skin Pike, and you can go to Eversong for the Lumifin. ZA's 8 Gorguppies in ZA, and Eversong has the Wormfish and the Lynxfish as well. Diffuser build's a bit different. So Diffuser build, what you want to go is you want to go 50 points. So you can put 10 points in Gainful Gathering and get 40 points in Diffuser. It makes you collect a lot of motes. That's pretty much it. You can either go Deafness or Perception. You can choose either. The reason why I may lean to Deafness is because you want to skin quickly, because you want to chuck your Diffusers on the mobs that are coming in. Because the Diffuser build abuses a hyperspawn in Slayer's Rise, so you want to be skinning quick, because the quicker you skin means the more things you can throw onto corpses, so you can skin for more motes, basically. The main thing here is that you're skinning for essentially motes, and scales just come in as well for an extra bit of dollary dues. Diffuser builds are very active builders. You need a hyperspawn group for it to work effectively. So basically, I was in one of these groups in Slayer Rise, and we had like 3 hunters, myself as a tank, and another tank as well, who would just roll around and pick up mobs. The current Diffuser build will pump out about 3,000 motes per hour. Basically, we had a light Diffuser group, and I got 3,000 motes of light in an hour, which was absolutely insane. And I'm not even Diffuser spec. If I was Diffuser spec, I would have got a lot more. You'll need a group that you can set up for distant diffusers as well, because I believe you can have 2 diffusers on the same mob. And this is why moat prices are so low, because if you can get 3k in an hour, barely any recipe needs over like 20 or 10 at best. Yeah, it is absolutely ridiculous that, a lot of these recipes only need like 20 at best. And if you got 3k, then, you can't farm any of the other recipes this quickly. You also farm a lot of scales because all the mobs in there are scales. So basically, void scale prices are surprisingly quite high, but that's because you need a lot more. And also, carving canines also ridiculously low as well because you can get carving canines from these mobs as well, which I find a lot of. As I said, deafness is pretty much king because you have loads of mob skins and not much downtime to skin at all. You can also try finesse if you want more scales, but I'd say the quicker you skin, the better. Perception can be good if carving canines are expensive, which they definitely will never be given this hyper spawn. I mean, if you look at the prices, I think carving canines is like 10% of a fantastic fur and plumage at this stage. Next up is the Trophy Taker build, which is one of my personal favorite because I just like having green items go in my inventory. You only need 50 points, kind of similar to the Diffuser build as well. You can also devolve into the Diffuser build and go into a Majestic build of this as well. Same thing as well, Perception is key for Trophy Taker because you want to get the maximum amount of furs and plumage chances that you desperately need. It needs a good farming spot. That's pretty much it. It needs good farming spots. And Eversong and ZA have confidently a lot of them. And they need to be mobs that do not have carving canines on them. You can have mobs that share it, such as the Lynx, which has fantastic fur and carving canines, but you want to try and avoid mobs that purely have carving canines as their specific drop. So as you can see here, plumage and fur are the two main ones. You can get Hawk Striders, Dragon Hawks, and birds. And fantastic fur is from boars, bears, bats, and lynx. Don't get baited into thinking that stags and those drop fantastic fur. They do not. I farmed it for 2 hours and I didn't get a single fur. And the second lynx I skinned, I got a fur. Try that, okay? You can transition to a Majestic build and a Diffuser build over time as well. The best zone is Alcordanis or Zalaman or Eversung Woods because most of their mobs are skinnable and most of the mobs are either lynx, boars, bats, or whatever. I recommend Isle since nobody will bother you there. In fact, I farm in Isle quite a bit and no one comes around to skin anything or do anything like that particular because they're either in Zalaman or Eversung Woods, which are also quite good as well. The west side of the island, Alcordanis, is relatively good and you can farm that to your heart's content. There's also a lot less mini mobs, like there's mini mobs such as the link kittens and whatnot that can't be skinned. So there's a lot less of those as well. So that was pretty awesome as well. Also, as well as with Trophy Taker, you want to target a high value beast area because they can provide from 2 times to 6 times. Regular mobs can only provide 4 times at best and 2 times at worst. So high value beasts are definitely the highest sort of one. This is what I call a slot machine build because it's very hit and miss because you can get a lot of plumage and a lot of fur at times and other times not so much. So if you want a steadier build, I guess the Diffuser build of the Hyperspawn is pretty decent. I did get about 3k scales as well as 3k moats while farming it, so it is relatively good as well. Next up is, are these builds alt friendly? Yes. Majestic build is very, very, very alt friendly. It's in fact one of the best builds for an alt-friendly build where if you want to get quick 20 minutes to log on and then go on your main Doom pluses, you can do these and get these all done and potentially generate some money out of it. The downside is, of course, is the setup, which is you need the mile and stuff like that as well to build it. So getting the skinning knowledge books from both areas. And overall, with the Majestic build, it's probably going to get cheaper and cheaper as you go on because it's going to be a point where the skinning catch-up mechanic is just going to get you 60 points where you can start generating and printing money from these stuff as well. And hopefully Majestic materials aren't stupidly cheap then. But given the fact that the hides, the fins, and the claws are needed for a lot of crafting recipes, I don't think they'll ever be down. To set up a skinning, if you're building a skinning army, you want to take at least 1 Diffuser one and 1 Trophy Taker, because it can be, Diffuser could be good here, or just Trophy Taker could be good here as well, so you can switch between. But you want the main majority of your alt army to be Majestic builds, because Majestic builds have the highest chance of creating money at the lowest possible time. To set up a skinning skeleton, you only need to do 2 abundance runs to get the currency for the knowledge book, and you can transfer the Void Like Mile from the main to the alt for the mining book. Given that you got everything on your main so far with the Void Like Mine. And also it's very easy to achieve 100 skinning. You just basically skin 100 things and then bam, you'll be 100. It's relatively easy. Anyways guys, hope you guys enjoyed my video for the builds and hope you guys got good insight on it as well. My recommendation would be get 1 Trophy Taker, 1 Diffuser, and everything else Majestic. And then just go ham. And also not to mention as well, just log off your characters at the lure points or make sure all these characters have enough lures for the week as well. Also, there will come a point where the lures are too expensive before the hide or claw chance. And at that point, that's when you stop skinning. Or that's when you stop doing these builds and look for another way to make money. and most people in particular, myself, is that make sure you have crafter alts ready as well, where you're funneling all these materials into those crafter alts. Obviously, the best one is level working, and then they will start making the money for you as well once you've got all the recipes. But anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for today. Hope you guys have a good one, and see you guys for now. Peace out. Bye.